Welcome to the first lesson of our channel. Today we're going to be looking at place value and rounding. These are some of the easier topics in the 11 Plus Maths GL and CEM syllabus. We're going to be going through some key techniques needed to master these questions in the exam. So place value is very simple in that all you have to do is to be able to recognize the different digits for what they are. So decimal points, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and tens of thousands, and so on. So the first step is to recognize the different individual digits, as shown here. So in the number 2076, the individual digits would be 6 is 1, 7 is the tens, 0 are the hundreds, and 2 is the thousands. That's clear. In the second step is to compare. So we'd have to do this for each individual number. So for 1979, 9 is the ones, 7 is the tens, 9 is the hundreds, and 1 is the thousands. So from step 3 it says to pick the highest or smallest number. So from 1 we're going to find the highest number. And that's quite easy since 10 is since the third number is the only one with 5 digits, whereas the rest all have 4, which means that 10,102 is the highest number. In that example, if you were given any question and it was asked for the highest number, you just pick 10,102, and that's an easy mark in this paper. So we're going to have a look at the rest and see if you can answer them. So for number 2, we're going to try and find the smallest number now. So 1 is clearly ones. So in 1.06, 6 is hundredths, 0 is tenths, and 1 is ones. So the reason that this is called tenths and 6 is called hundredths is because it's after the decimal point. So in 6.15, 5 is the hundredths and 1 is the tenths because they're after the decimal point. So we're going to do the exact same, follow these steps to answer this question. The different individuals are 1 is ones, 0 is tenths, and 6 is hundredths. In 15.06, 1 is tens, 5 is ones, 0 is tenths, and 6 is hundredths. So we are going to now compare them. So it's very clear these three won't be the smallest ones since they have the most digits, and these two have this exact same number of digits. So now we have to figure out which one has less digits. So which one? So we'll go with 6 and 0.15 or 1.06, and 6 has got more. So 6.15 has more tens compared to 1.06, which means the smallest number is 1.06. So now we're going to have a look at 3 and we're going to find the highest number. So the highest number would be 3. So we're going to find the highest number. So the highest number is quite easy with this one because that 475.5 has the most digits before the decimal point. It has the most digits before the decimal point, whereas 15.01 only has 2, 54.5 only has 2, which makes 475.5 easily the highest number. So as you can see, these are quite easy, and as most people who take it in plus are quite able, you'll probably fly through these in the exam. So number 4 is we're going to find the smallest one, which I'm sure you should all know how to do now. Just follow these simple steps, and the answer is 98.01, because it can't be these two because these two have more digits after the decimal point, before the decimal point, and so it can't be these two, and then it's between these two, and that has 98.45 has more tens compared to 98.01 and 98.1, and 98.1 has more tens compared to 98.01, so 98.01 is the obvious answer. Yeah, so please, if you found that helpful, and just one more, just subscribe, like, and turn the post notifications on. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at rounding. Rounding is easy, not as easy as place value, but you need place value to be able to round. So they intertwine, which is why we've combined each lesson together. So rounding is 3 simple steps to be able to do any sort of rounding in the exam. It's quite simple. It's just to find out what the rounding is. So in the examples I've given, 6,726 to the nearest 1,000, 9,245 to the nearest 100. So you just find out what you're rounding to. Very simple. Step 2 is to find the digits you need to change. So, for example, 6,726 to the nearest 1,000 would mean you're going to have to look at 7 because that is the digit, that is the 100th digit, and 6 is the 1,000th digit. So you look at the digit before the one you want to round to. So if you're looking, so we want to round to the nearest 1,000. So the 1,000 digit is 6. So you want to look at the 100th digit, which is 7. So you look at the one which is just before it. So for 9,245, so for the nearest 100th, from 9,245, so you would round, so you'd look at 4, because 3 is the 100th digit, and you look at the one before, which is 4. And then, if that number is below 5, So in the example of 6,726, the nearest thousand, if this number is below 5, you would round down. Because this is above 5, the 6 would go to 7, and the answer would be 7,000. So in this, this number 4. So for the nearest hundred, you look at 4, and this is below 5. So you'd actually round 9,345 down to 9,200 because this is below 5. And the way I remember it is high 5. So anything with 5 or above rounds up. Anything lower than 5 rounds down. And that applies with any of these questions. Anything in anything to do with rounding, you always, if it's 5 or above, you round up. If it's below 5, you round down. So now we're going to look through these questions and see how to answer them. So 64.77 to the nearest whole number means that's the nearest whole number. These are decimals. So this is the whole number. So you look at the digit before, which is 7. 7 is above 5, so you'd round up. Therefore, the answer is 65. So now to the nearest hundredth. So 0.287 to the nearest hundredth. As from before, you know this is a tenth, hundredth, thousandth, tenth, hundredth, thousandth. So this is the hundredth digit. So you would look at for this question, it's actually not as simple as this, because for this you'd look at, obviously, so this one you'd look at the 7, for that one you'd look at the 4, for that one you'd look at the 7. For this one, you actually have to look at the digit that's after it, not before. So for this, you wouldn't look at the 2, you'd look at the 7, because you look at the 7, and the same thing applies high 5, so that's above 5, so you'd round it up. So the answer to this would not be, so the answer to this would be 0.29, because you have to look at the digit after it. You have to look at so when you're doing decimals, so e.g, like 1.16, and you want to round that to the nearest tenth, you would look at 6, and 6 is above 5, so that would be what, 1.2. You have to look at the digit after it, not before. So when you're working with whole numbers, you look at the digit before. When you're working with decimals, you look at the digit afterwards. So 7 is the digit after the hundredth number. This is the hundredth number. 8 is the hundredth number. 7 digit is the digit after. So and 7 is above 5, so that would be 0.29. So now we're looking at 1095.93 to the nearest 10. So we're looking at, so the nearest 10 is that, and the number before 10 is 5, because 9 is a tenth and 5 is the 1. So that is obviously 5, so it rounds up. So the actual answer here would be 1100, and all of the rest are 0. So it'd be 1100, and you just forget about decimals. Okay, so yeah, that's how you answer all the rounding questions. We'll look at one more quickly. So we'll have a look at 10,563 to the nearest thousand. So same principles. We are rounding to the nearest thousand. So we find the thousandth digit, which is 0 is the thousand. So you look at the digit before, which is 5. Round it. The answer would be 11,000. Round up. Yeah. So if we were actually going to look at the nearest 10,000, I'm going to look at the nearest 10,000. So you just find the 10,000th digit, which is 1. Look before 0, so the answer is 10,000. 0.157 to the nearest hundredth is simple. So we are working with decimals. So you look after. So 7 is after the hundredth number, which is 5. The hundredth number is 5. 7 is the thousandth number, which is after, and 7 is above 5. So the answer is 0.16. And that's simple as that's how you rounding numbers. It's quite simple, quite easy. These are literally 3 marks. If you know how to do it, they are 3 marks in the exam, and most people fly past these. Really simple to answer. Just apply these steps, and it's very simple. And just remember, when working with whole numbers, you look at the digit before. When working with decimals, you look at the digit after. Okay, thank you. If you enjoy and found it useful, please like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Thank you.